Now going for our management artifacts. Now, as we have seen in the previous work, that the entire 9 management artifacts were divided into two, that is planning and operational, where planning had workbenches, business case, release specifications and software development plan, and your operational artifacts had your release descriptions, status, your change orders, your documents and environment. So now going for your management artifacts of each one in detail. Okay, so the first one going for our business case, okay, which is your planning artifact. So once you go for your business, definitely your business case artifact provides all the information necessary for where you go for your project to check whether and to take a decision whether your project is worth investing. Okay, so it might consist of entire revenues, cost, etc. Now the main purpose of this business case is to transform the vision into economic terms, so that the management can take a decision of the accurate return of interest, or else return on interest, which we normally term it as capital ROI, okay, assessment. So these forecasts, you can do it evolutionary, and you can update with the more accurate forecasts in the life cycle progresses, etc. Okay, now once I go for the next software development plan. So what is a plan? When do you go for a plan? Definitely you need to have a entire organizational standards, your contracts if any, then you have to evolve along with the design and requirements, which are which you can use consistently with all other organizations. Okay, and here as on screen you can see your elaborate your process framework into fully detailed plan, so where you can define your document. Now why is the two indicators of a software development plan are periodic updating and understanding the acceptance, okay, by managers. And is it only the managers? No, the entire stakeholders. Okay, and stakeholders, you need not say about user. Okay, user is always or the customer is always worried about his product, okay, his deliverable product. So the managers and practitioners have to understand and accept with the periodic updatings. Okay, so next, work breakdown structure. Work breakdown structure, as the name indicates, you are breaking your entire work. This you have in your next part of your unit, second unit. So you are dividing your work into equal partitions within your teams. Okay, so it's okay, you can see it as a vehicle for budgeting and collecting costs, etc. But the thing is, you use it to monitor and control the project's performance and its finances. So who is doing it is definitely the project manager, okay, who must have an insight into the cost of the project and how they are expanded. Okay, so work breakdown structure, once we see in most of the unsuccessful or somewhat less successful projects, it has been shown that the work breakdown structure, if not implemented properly, so it can drive your entire design and product structure in a wrong direction. Okay, so next, definitely a functional breakdown in the work breakdown structure, WBS, will result in the functional decomposition in the software. So next, going for your change order. Now what do you mean by change order? See, okay, you can see on the screen that managing change is one of the fundamental primitives of iterative development process. So, but what do you understand by change order? See, with change freedom, software, everything is possible in software is a myth. Okay, you can't do everything. So, in the same way, with all the expectations, a user, if he wants everything to be done, you can't do it. Okay, so everything, what everything is to be discussed at the requirements stage itself. Okay, so the project which has an iterative more, but the thing is the flexibility increases the content, the number of iterations in the project, the structure which you are, or the structure and the process which you are following. Okay, so these all given at time you can increase. Okay, if a new change has come, see, once you go for your coding stage, you have already implemented something. Okay, some out of some n function, n modules, you have completed some n minus m modules. Okay, some m modules you have already completed. Now if a new change has come where you have to create a new entire start from scratch work. Okay, so count the time from now. Okay, don't take the previous time. So change orders, yes, you can change, but it's a new project. Okay, so managing change is one of the fundamental primitives of an iterative development process, will always be referred to within a given schedule. Okay, you can go for, yes, you can increase the content, you can increase your quality. Okay, you can go for any changes, yes, fundamental change requirements to be changed, etc. But the manager has to keep in mind to achieve all the changes only within a given schedule. Okay, so organizational process that depend on any change or techniques definitely results in the failure of the project, which you call it as inefficiency of the manager. Okay, so next, going for release specifications. Now what do you mean by release specifications? Definitely, yes, the scope, plan, your evaluation of the objective, okay, for your entire releases are derived from the vision statement. Okay, and what are the other sources? Definitely they are your management concerns, your architecture, okay, your implementation, your quality, etc. So definitely out of these, your that is typical release specification outline. So what is the outline which you are developing there is, as you can see on the screen, your iteration content. So what is that you are releasing in this particular version or release? Okay, so that is once you go for your inception, elaboration, etc., you have a spiral bound, right? So what is that spiral bound? So in one entire cycle spiral, okay, so what is that you are releasing at this particular point? That is after one cycle. So second iteration, again you are starting from inception, right? The new idea, okay, the new added idea. So again it's a new thing. You take more requirements, create something, code something, you deploy it. Again while you are going for the second iteration, you have some other new ideas. You are going for the third iteration. Okay, so iteration content. Next, definitely evaluation of those content. Okay, and the approach you have to go for developing it. So measurable objectives. Then to achieve it in your given time, which we have seen in the previous change order. So demonstrations where you need to go for your schedule and a team. Then your last use case demonstrations. Okay, so your entire procedure development. So what is that you need here is two things are to be taken care of. They are the first one, vision statement and evaluation criteria. The first vision statement, what does it do is definitely capture and contract between the development group. So this information should be evolving. Okay, but is it varying? Is yes, it may, but varying slowly across life cycle. Okay, so it should be represented where the user can understand it. What do you understand by vision statement? Is nothing but your user needs. Okay, so that's what you see in your brackets, or user need. Okay, so how do you do it is, okay, you need to make a proper documentation where you go for your entire test cases, your sheets, your ideas, make up your formats, that spreadsheets or other formats where you can keep before him, represent your idea before him. Okay, with including your text. Okay, so use case, as I said in the vision statement, definitely serves the operational and your terms of development before him. Okay, next, your evaluation criteria. Yes, it's defined as management oriented requirements, use cases, etc. But the thing is, see, they are derived from the vision statement first, and the next they are considered as a requirements that you are representing by your use cases to the user with your entire your structure, that is use case realizations or structures where you are representing it. So the system requirements are which are captured in the vision statement, okay, are your low level requirements where you are going for evolving them into your summarized form. Okay, so in four phases, like inception, elaboration, construction and transition, how is your release specification mentioned? Is definitely in inception case, yes, you are going for some N evaluation criteria where you are driving the use cases on the impact of your architecture alternatives and depending on your business, just your idea. Okay, next, elaboration. You go for your elaboration. Elaboration. So third one, construction and transition. So second, elaboration, you go for your for example, in inception stage you are going for some 10 evaluation criterias. So now you will be going for some N plus M, okay, or N plus N, okay, 2N criterias. So where you can demonstrate your entire architecture, you can verify your cases, use cases, and your requirements of the vision, the company's vision. Okay, and you can also demonstrate to the user about the low risk which you are developing. Okay, next, your construction phase, you are coding something, that is you are going for your evaluation of entire meaningful set of use cases. You are going for your alpha and beta releases, as we have seen in the above with the release specification outline. So you are going for your releases, and then transition phase, that is the last phase. You can use your complete use cases, your entire evaluation criteria, your acceptance, and the last version which is operated. Okay, so next, so what do you understand? This process evolving and is loosely coupled to the actual design and architecture where you can go for all the intermediate activities and milestones. Okay, so next going for release description. So release description, yes, you are going for describing your entire document, which includes your summary, quality in entire quantity. I think you understand what is quality in your entire quantity. Okay, and your other terms where you go for your improvements from previous version to the present version, your other issues, your trade-offs. Okay, so these are your release descriptions. That is nothing but your entire document which you are keeping for yourself, and the user manual given to the user, and the document which you are keeping for your next maintenance. Okay, so next is your status assessment. So once you go for your status assessment, what does it give you? Okay, definitely it gives you the risk, your quality, and your management indicators. But what do you understand here is it is a periodic status assessment where you have a document that provide the mechanism for manager for improving the project for everyone's expectations and satisfaction. Okay, so generally your normal status assessment, what should it include is your review of resources, your personal, your finances, where you go for your cost and expenditure, your risks, progress, and the other checkpoints where you call it as your milestones, whether achieved or not, that is your results, and your entire follow through. Okay, so next, once we go for your next one, management artifact sequences. So what do you mean by artifact sequences? See, okay, so everything, see, management artifact sequences, you have something like, you have your phases here, your inception phase, your elaboration phase, and your construction phase, and your next is your transition phase. Okay, so starting with your sets, artifact sets here, your management set, your requirement set, your design, your implementation, and your requirements, design, implementation, and your deployment set, management set, requirement set. So once you have here, sorry, here you have your sets, artifact sets. Okay, now here you have your phases. Okay, so how many do you have? Yes, in your requirement sets you have vision document and requirements mode. Design, you have design modes, test model and architecture. Implementation, your code baseline, your compile time and components. Deployment, you have your user manual, your documentation where it is the integrated product, then your associated files. And in management you have your entire 9, which you have, out of which we have we are dealing with the 7th one now. Okay, so what is at each time, for example in your management set you have your entire 9. So here phase, inception phase, what are the artifacts you have followed here? Okay, you need not follow everything, and some need not be totally worked on. Okay, so you can make a table here, okay, where you can go for, are they correctly met you call it as controlled development, and some, yes, are they referred to or not, which is informal. Okay, so two things, in two ways you can go for this model. Okay, so once I go for your management artifact set, so what is it giving is some artifacts which are to be developed in the or referred to, there is control developed or else referred to. There are two things, informal version visions or else your informal patterns which are to be referred to, and your controlled development. Okay, so some artifacts, so at each major checkpoint, are you working on it or not, or are they referred or not, will be given by your management artifact set. So next is your deployment and environment. What is deployment? So deployment can be in many forms. So what is it? It's just subsets of your transitioning. So here you can see it's a subsets for transitioning the product into operational status. So definitely in big contracts you need to go for a system which is delivered in a separate organization with deployment artifacts, where computer system may include your manuals, installation plans, and for the your legacy and your entire marketing plans, etc. And the environment is definitely your including requirements, visual modeling, your documentation, automation, your tools, your entire iterative testings which you require. Okay, and your change management which you have to go for in your deployment. Okay, so these are your management artifacts. Okay, so now after your management artifacts, so once you go for your management artifacts, this is what we have seen. Okay, so once you go for the next artifacts in the process, so these are your management sets. Now what are these requirements, design, implementation and deployment sets? If you have remembered, in the starting I said in the class 2 where I have gone for this requirements, design and implementation set, these are your engineering set, these 4 come under your engineering set, and this management set you have 2 things. Okay, now going for our engineering set.